Welcome back to SSSVEDA video a day in August. This is my series called Hacker by Cracks. I'm going to help you with tips and tricks for your content marketing. The last few videos we've been talking about video and shortcuts and recording the video, editing, that sort of thing. In this video, I'm going to talk about creating those cool YouTube thumbnails. The user makes a decision whether to watch your video based on your thumbnail. The thumbnail is what grabs the viewer's attention in the first place, and then of course whatever text you put over that or the title of the video is what's going to encourage the user to click on it and watch the video. So I'm going to show you how I create my YouTube thumbnails. I actually use Photoshop, but if you're not comfortable using Photoshop, I'll teach you another method straight afterwards. But when we look at Photoshop, I'm going to show you how I set up a template so that it makes it easier just to create the next one over and over again. I don't have to keep starting again. And I covered this in an earlier video about using Canva. So we're going to do the same thing again, but specifically on creating your YouTube thumbnails. Okay, so let's have a look at Photoshop first. If you can do it this way around, obviously you already kind of have a good idea of how to use Photoshop, but in a minute I'll show you how to use Canva if you're not a Photoshop user. But here's how I very quickly create thumbnails each time. I set up one template. This is the final kind of image. And you'll see on the right hand side, each one of my screenshots from my videos, which I'll show you how to get, is in a separate layer, and all I have to do is drag a new screenshot in. I've got a new thumbnail. So for instance, I'll go over to my video. That's a weird shot. Well, let's use it just for the just so you know that's the one I've grabbed. It's got Nemo in the background. It weirdly looks like I'm smoking. I'm going to tab back to Photoshop. I select my last layer, the one at the top, or the last image layer should I say. I'm going to go grab my screenshot. I just drag it back into Photoshop, resize it to wherever I want it. Not that I ever use that. In actual fact, my head's more to one side, so I'd probably just flip it over and put me in that gap up there. Select the text tool, and then I can just edit this. This would be day 16. Select the edit on this text and put and change the title of the video. Now the point of doing it this way around is that you never have to think about your fonts or your colors, you know, what shadow did I use, what color text did I use, what size was it. It will be exactly the same each time. And all this is built up of is these layers on the right hand side here. One layer for that text, another layer for the SSSVEDA, which I never touch. I separate this one, the day 16, so that I can just type the 16 and move it around if I need to. And the only other thing that I like to do is this, to keep it all branded, is these second two layers, which is the color. That's my brand colors, and I'll switch it off for a second, and this black and white. So that's the natural screenshot. That's the screenshot that I just took off my video, and all I do, so you would select this one, and then you turn it into black and white. Use this button here where it says black and white, and it will instantly turn it into black and white. You don't have to do that, but I quite like that as a touch. So I switch the black and white layer on, and then I have this blue filter over the top. Oh, press the wrong one. And you create that very simply by just drawing a box. I draw a box, I can make it bigger, it doesn't really matter. And that's the color of it. And just switch off. So I press return. And I take the opacity down. I like mine at 70%, but you can, if you wanted a bit more black and white, you go lower, but I have mine up here somewhere at 70. But obviously it has to be above the black and white layer to make it blue. That was below it then. And then there's my layer, so I'm just going to delete the one that I've just drawn. So that's pretty much it. You grab a screenshot or straight from your video, drag it in. Don't worry about the quality so much. This is going to be seen so small that you can stretch, or not stretch, but increase the size of your thumbnail as much as you want, really. I wouldn't worry about it. So if I do this, for instance, and make it really big, that's a weird picture of me. The thumbnail's not gonna matter too much. You grabbed quite a high quality picture as it is, and the output of this file is so small anyway, so really sort of play around with it and do what you want. But if you do this, if you template it up, You know, you can choose your text, you can choose your fonts, your colors. This border I've just drawn, yours is going to be different. I just drew a kind of a thick line around the outside. It saves you a ton of time later on. You don't have to think, oh, what cool thumbnail can I make this time? You've got a template, you just drag in your screenshot, change your text, export it, and it's job done. It's another kind of thing that you don't have to think about each time you upload a video. Okay, if Photoshop is not your thing, head over to canva.com and I'll show you how to set up a template so you can make your YouTube thumbnails without any software. It's just online, it's all free. So let's see if we can do something cool here. So we're starting from scratch. I've just uploaded a couple of screenshots just to save upload time, but head over to canva.com and look for this big green button called Create a Design, and that'll take you to this page here. Now the important bit is to set up your document the right size first of all. So use custom dimensions, top right hand side, if I can get it to work. And then type in 1280 by 720. That's presuming you're uploading your video at 1280 by 720. If you go for full HD, it'd be 1920 by 1080. But I do all mine at this size, so and it all works out pretty good for me. So click on Design. And you've got yourself a layout ready to fill in. So what I would do is start out with having a look what elements there are. So play around with this, go through your elements and have a look, see if you want to put some shapes in or you want to put grids in. But I would start with frames. So have a look here and we'll just pick one to get us going because there's some quite cool ones. In fact, let's take that one. That's very much like Amy's templates in SSSVEDA actually. And we'll just resize that to fit there. Also, I'm not doing exactly the same design. You can play around with whatever designs you want. So I'm going to go for my brand color. I don't like this yellow, so I'm just going to click on that and it's going to show me the color at the top. And I'm going to need to add my brand color in, so I'll just go and get that. So you could obviously select any color you want here. That's my brand color there that I'm going to use. Then you just got to go and upload a picture here on the left hand side. Click upload your own images, which I've already done to save some time. And I'm going to drop this one in place. See if I just drag it, it jumps in place there. I can double click to play around with the size of that and how it sits inside the template, but fairly happy with where it is there, to be honest. And then just grab yourself some text. So head over to this text section here and select any title. I'm just going to take this one for a second just for demonstration, but you can use any you like. And I'm just going to type in SSSVEDA. Actually, I'll just change it to white while I'm here. Tap on each line. Let's just say that for argument's sake, get rid of that. I don't really want that bottom bit, I'm just going to delete it for now, just so I can show you how this works. And so you could use this part of the template over and over again, but the next bit is, the really interesting bit is to style your photograph so it stays the same each time. So what I mean by that is I'm going to give it like an Instagram type filter. Click on the picture, click on filter at the top, and choose one of these. It's going to be your easiest way to do it is pick a theme that's, or a color code that's already there. So I quite like that actually, that Nordic. You can put some more intensity on it or take some away and leave it as it is at 50. And then you've got these advanced options here so you can play around with it. Move out of your way. I can't move out of the way, but let's leave it for that for a second just so you can see that I'm starting to create a template. Now here's the really interesting bit. How do I get that color and that layout onto the next one? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the whole layer. So I've got exactly the same picture, exactly the same sort of template. But what's going to happen is that you're going to go back to your uploads and you're going to grab another picture. Let's take this one, put it in place, and there you go, it's added the same filter to it. And then obviously you just go in and edit your text, and it would be day 3. You can change the picture as many times as you want. Day 4. You see how making all your thumbnails all of a sudden gets a lot quicker. And then when you're ready, just click on download and download those images. So now you've got no excuse not to go out there and create some awesome thumbnails for your video. It's super easy. Hope you're enjoying the Hacker by Crack series. Don't forget to check out all the other videos over at nickellison.net/SSSVEDA. I'll see you in the next video. Check out my behind the scenes vlog over at nickellison.net/Nicksworld.